Welcome back to Les Schwab Tire Center's Outdoor GPS, presented by Fisherman's Marine and Outdoor. Now it's time for your weekend tech tip, brought to you by Chevy Silverado.
Welcome back, everyone. Thanks for joining us this morning in the Chevy Silverado Tech Tip of the Week. We're going to talk about the rigging for these skinny minis. Now, we just showed you the all-chrome Evolution flasher from Brad's. This is brand new. Same thing, Puyallup?
Puyallup show, yeah, start at the Puyallup show, the Laughlin shows, and then it'll be at the Portland show.
Okay, and then after that, it'll be in
retailers, yep.
After that?
Throughout, absolutely.
Okay,
yep.
So the shows are going to be where you pick them up first?
Cole and I have already talked. Cole is ready.
All right, very good. That's where you're going to find them first, or at the shows, and then in the retailers post-show season. But I'm going to tell you, you better have a bunch of them.
We got a bunch.
I mean, really, you better have a bunch of them. All right, let's take a look at that Kershaw Tech Cam. You got a couple of different riggings here.
Yeah.
Now, would you say you're not necessarily scaling your leader strength down or hook sizes down too much from the original size? You're just scaling down the beads and how you kind of rig it? What are you doing different here?
The beads, you can do hook size, but generally I'm not. The hole in that goes through the nose is large, so it'll handle 60 pound if you want to go 60 pound.
So it didn't shrink?
Okay. No, it's the opposite.
Okay.
It actually got larger.
Okay, so it makes it easier and it'll help it spin better on the leader.
Correct.
All right, fair enough.
So there's a lot of improvements there.
All right, I'm going to tell you right now, if I don't have to get the drill bit out, I'm good with it. Very, very good. Okay, so this is the rigging that I've settled on. I've messed with so many different ways to do it with bobber stops and this and that to get the hook position as opposed to the length of the bait itself. So that's how I would go.
Yep.
You also have one here, though, for all those folks that participate in the catch and release or the fisheries like silvers in the saltwater where it's hatchery only and you're weeding through a lot of different, unmarked fish as opposed to marked fish with the single hook. That's also very popular. Very
popular and a lot of opportunity, especially even for big fish, because you look at the size of that gap. Once you get a purchase in that mouth, I mean, that thing's set.
Right.
You'll see on this particular one, we have a bead chain there. Little barrel swivel. I'm sorry, not a bead chain, but a barrel swivel. Sure. So as that fish rolls, that's just going to continue to roll.
Freeze it up a little bit, sure.
Freeze it up, yeah. So that one is really popular. That's a VMC hook. That short shank, I am just so happy with that hook. I've been trying that a lot and really impressed with that hook. But the standard, you're right, is just like this. And what people are going to want to pay attention to is this right here, that the gap of that hook, hopefully it's showing here on TV, a gap of that hook is clearing the tail of the bait.
And would you ever want to have, say, more beads where it was even further back?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, for sure. Yeah, you can absolutely do that. Yeah, some people go way back.
All right.
The main thing is you just don't want the hook coming in here because it could snag up and tangle.
And kill the roll.
Yeah, kill the roll, tangle, and kill the roll. So you just want to make sure the gap is like that on the tail.
All right.
At least that.
So you can mess with it, everyone, with different setups that you want. I mean, it goes on, and we've shown probably 15 different ways here on the air. And you can find them on YouTube. There's a number of different ways that you can find the rigging for super baits from the cut plug to the original and soon to be readily available, the Skinny Mini, for different rigging setups that you might want to have. And some areas are going to have different regulations on how many hooks you can use and this and that. But you can certainly rig them in a way that's going to, well, help you be more successful. You put that together with the Chrome Evolution flasher, and you've got a pretty darn good system. This is cute too. I love that. That's a kokanee cut plug.
It's a kokanee cut plug. Put a little wedding ring on there, so you got some bling and a little squid hoochie there too. So plenty of opportunities. So many different ways to rig these, just like the standards, right?
Right.
So many different ways. You could put tubing, you could put beads, you could put bobber stops, you could put loop back through the bead twice. There's just so many different opportunities. However you want to do it.
Sure.
And there's areas where you can do 3 hooks.
There is. I know that there's lots of folks around here, especially during Springer season and fall shank season, that love the 3-hook setup with these super baits, no question. You mentioned, though, prior to the show, that you are looking forward to back trolling these Skinny Minis for steelhead.
Yeah.
Now, you've actually done you did a show with Justin Wolf at Angler West, my favorite fishing show here from our region at the very least, where you guys were doing that for trout. This is something that a lot of people may not have done before. If you were to back troll a skinny mini, once they're available, obviously it's not going to work out necessarily for this year, but say the cut plug, the Kokanee cut plug, or maybe even the mini cut plug, which you have here, conveniently enough. You've got your Brad's diver just right in front of it, tied off to the belly. There's a number of ways that you can do that, of course. But then you just got that right behind the diver. My initial thought was, I saw it work for trout.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't it work for steelhead?
It does.
It does work for steelhead.
It does.
Now, when you mentioned that you were looking forward to doing that, you were just specifically referring to the skinny mini.
Correct.
But if somebody wanted to change things up as opposed to a plug, you can have that cut plug back there behind a diver.
People are fishing that right now, 48 to 60 inches back.
48 to 60 inches behind the diver.
Right behind the diver.
Okay.
Yep, exactly.
My first thought is, how do I make sure it doesn't get on the bottom? It's already a buoyant bait, though. 2 hooks on there can make it a little bit heavier.
If you have the flow, which this is going to get you down, 12 feet or so. If you have the flow,
and that's the
you're not
standard
going to have an
size
issue.
diver.
This is a standard, yeah. We can go deeper if you've got if we're down to 15 feet, we can go a mag size diver too.
Right, the mag size is my preferred one for most situations, but that obviously will work out well as well. So.
And you're obviously going to be using it in water that's flowing, right?
Sure. Yeah, we got that flowing one.
Yeah. Right. So that flowing water is going to get it to spin. It's going to keep it up off the bottom.
Just a different look that I don't think the fish have seen. I mean, think the first thing that popped in my mind when he had said that, the skinny mini behind a diver, my mind starts thinking, what if I put some beads there, maybe a spin and glow in front of it to give it that little bit, something that I want to look at. Okay, that's my mind working. When we come back from the break, though, if we don't talk about some of the terminal gear that's now available from Brad's, hooks that you can be comfortable chasing steelhead with, even if you're chasing trophy-sized steelhead. Now, I'm going to be honest here. That was not the case with the original Brad's hooks. No offense.
I absolutely agree, 100%. That's why I wanted to change that hook. 3 years in finding that hook.
I fished these hooks exclusively last year when I was bobber fishing for steelhead. I didn't have any breaks. I didn't have any bend outs. And that's because you made a good change. So
that's a sharp hook.
I'm glad he didn't get mad at me. Although I can outrun him right now. We'll be back.
Any day.
We'll be right back with Scott. Even in flip-flops, I can outrun him right now.
Yeah.
We'll be back with Scott Call from Brad's in just a minute.
Outdoor GPS is brought to you by Yakima Bait, steeped in tradition, innovation, and fishing success. Procure Bait Sense, ruthlessly effective. And by North American Metals Incorporated, first choice for all your metal roofing and siding needs.